Good afternoon, everybody. Bruno City speaking from Process Pilot Club. It's a great pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Thanks to Bonita Soft Company for this invitation. And I will have the pleasure to discuss and share with you my view about the digitalizing of processes in our period. Just some advice before beginning. This webinar will be registered, so you will have the opportunity to see it in replay if you want. And also during the webinar, don't hesitate to raise your questions in the chat. That will be the capacity for us to moderate them, and I will answer your question at the end of the webinar. We will keep some minutes, some time to share together on the basis on these questions. So let's go in this journey during 1 hour. My presentation will be divided into 3 parts. The first part after small introductions about the Process Pilots Club. So after this introduction, we'll speak about concepts and definitions as to be aligned between ourselves about this context. Then we will go through the reality of the field, what we saw, what is it interesting for me and for you to share and to be able to learn from this field. And then I will finish my presentation with some good practices coming from the experience and all the meetings we made with software providers, with customers, with any people which are interested in the process method and journey. Introduction. So please allow me to speak a little about the Process Pilots Club. So I'm part of this club since 10 years from now. It is a professional club of practitioners dedicated in process in all of its size. For instance, we have people coming from the Lean, Six Sigma or the Lean, from the process. We have some people from architecture, some people from automation, some people dealing with RPA, IA, BPM, case management, some people from the industry, some people from the also academic programs. So it is a very rich opportunity to share and discuss between these people, and the club is able to produce some specific deliverables, I should say. For instance, some of them just to help you to understand what are our deliverables. So first, the process management guide, which in fact is coming from the BPM CBOK. That is the American standard from the process method and organization. And as a French club in France, we had the opportunity to have the right to traduce it and also to make some additional paragraphs or comments. And so it was a good and big challenge for us to be part of this book. So this book is available on the V3, and we will make available the V4 at the beginning of next year. The opportunity for us from this guide also to build some training session that we are going through with AFNOR, which is a French standardization company. And with this partnership with AFNOR, we go on this journey about processes to help people who are willing to go through this matter, to have the certification, the international certification from ABPMP, which is the international standard company about BPM. We also are organizing some events, monthly events that we call plenaries, with many subjects, annual meetings that during 1 day to share between all people motivated in the process industry and subjects. We have also some books, magazine published from the club, or our thoughts, reflections, work with the workshop and with many people, 5 or 6 or 10 people which are working together on a subject, and then we make a paper or sometimes some books. And at the end of this presentation, I will share with you two tools that we develop from the club. The first is the process maturity model, and the second that we develop also in a partnership with AFNOR is the key process evaluation repository that will be our contribution to help to have some concrete and operational tools to help you and help us in the process journey. So well, we are today to discuss about the process, but also digitalization. So we should say, in fact, what does the term process digitalization mean to you? That is a good question. And in fact, this is not a surprise for us. Further, many discussion, many meetings where some people, customers, software providers, we identified, we heard some sentences we shared with people, and this is a sum up, not exhaustive, but I am confident that we will discuss at the end more and more. Just to give some good introduction to this speaking, I will share with you some specific sentences that we heard and will help us to go through the process journey. First, for instance, we can hear that, well, in the company, each entity has its own processes. Okay. Second sentence, there is a need to speed up document approval times. So we need to see that focus on document before there was a focus on processes. The third, for instance, repetitive tasks need to be automated. You begin to recognize what can happen with this. Then the process cannot solve everything. Sometimes it is necessary to adapt. Also an interesting idea, introducing the need to be adaptive. Cases are too specific to be modeled in advance. Interesting also, we will see later how we could manage to on the one part, deal with cases, but also be able to make some model in order to automate or make it more fluent. And then we can say, in our business, we cannot foresee all possible cases. So when you see all these sentences, you say, okay, what can I do? What is the best way to go to this journey? And as a matter of fact, it's quite difficult at the beginning, obviously. Why? Because you have many concepts, many methods. We spoke a few minutes ago about Lean, Six Sigma, BPM, case management. You have some offers from many software providers. You have BPA, IA, RPA, BPM, BPA, IBPMS, something like that, all acronyms that you can imagine. You have also some stakeholders. What is the best team to do? Do we need sponsorship, business people, technical people, architects, designer, something like that? So it's difficult to begin, and we have to analyze and to organize how to do it. And that's the goal I have today with you, that to help you and to open your eyes and to share how can be the track and how to go on the right track for this. So when we talk about process today, in fact, you can say that we have to deal with three major dimensions. In fact, I call it the trilogy: process, data, interfaces. What is interesting here, and I will develop each one one by one, is to say that in this subject, in this method, we have to deal with many dimensions, and it is important not to focus only to process, not to focus only to data, not to focus only to interfaces, but really associate and integrate all these dimensions. The good news, and I will say two things. The first thing is we made a study with the CXP, which is quite a French analyst, and they identified that from the year 2017, there was a great need of process structuring to go along with the digitalization. And they said more that some earlier projects about digitalization of processes failed because they went too fast and they didn't take time to build the foundation. And according to them, the foundation was processes. And without processes, without the structuring aspect of processes, it is difficult to go through some specific journey as digitalization, and more it will be a prerequisite. The second idea I will share on this slide is that some years ago, as part of the Process Pilots Club, we made a working group with the French association, with our sister, in fact, about quality, the French Association of Quality and Performance. If we compare as Process Pilots Club, we are dealing with the BPMC book, so the Bible of the process. And as for the French Quality Association, they are dealing with the ISO 9001, that is the well-known standardization for quality. And the good surprise from the last version in 2015 is that, as a matter of fact, this version was very oriented about processes. And so in 1915 and 1916, during 1 year, we made several working groups within this sister association to analyze how to converge and how to be able to work in a good way between quality people and process people. And that was the good news, because now and more we try to group together these people, and now we go on to work with this association, and also with AFNOR and also with other associations I will speak after in the next part of this presentation. So the first dimension is process. So what is process? What is the stakes? What is the objectives? At this stage, in fact, you will have to consider that we have to distinguish, in fact, to separate 3 levels of processes. The first level of processes should be called steering processes. Steering processes at the upper level is to measure, to control, to monitor all the enterprise's activities. In a second step, you have the support processes. The support processes are more dealing with human resources, finance, all the centralized functions of the company that will give support to the operational or execution processes. That is the third level. And at this level, you are dealing with all the important and critical activities that are making the business of your company. And now we have also to develop more and more some interoperability, some connection between all these processes, because the key is to be able to have a shared view of the company between these three segments of processes: steering, support, and operational. And that will be one of the major challenges of the next year, to go along with this communication. It is also a challenge of digitalization, to open the door and to make it cross along the enterprise. It is also a sign of the convergence at this stage. To be more concrete, when you have on the way to model your process, because one of the objectives of this presentation is also to share with you some good practices. In fact, what we recommend is to model within 3 levels of processes. Process, sub-processes, and activities, for instance. If I take an example from the insurance market, for instance, you have a first process. It is the macro processes that is to optimize your insurance product. At a second level, you will have another sub-process we will offer and manage the insurance offer about, for instance, car and home insurance. And after, you have the third level, more concrete, when we will describe all the steps and how they will group together to offer a specific, for instance, car insurance. It is important to have this hierarchy because it is also a strength of the process approach, that is to organize and to be able to be convenient with all of these levels. That is to say that your process will be fluent and will be also in good accordance with all the steps of the company. I will take one example to make some concrete illustration of this case. In the healthcare company, and also in this example, I will focus also on the spirit. In fact, when you are dealing with process, it is important also to have a specific way to deal with the matter. That is the mind spirit. In fact, you have it in Agile, you have it in process, in many subjects. And here it is very important to identify, to understand how to be process oriented, to have the good spirit to deal with process. And with this example, I will try to share with you, and also 2 other examples in the next part. So in this healthcare company, we had to cope with 3 different departments. One department dealing with care people at home to make some specific health work. Another department more oriented to a specific physical location to make people rehab after an accident, for instance. And a third department, so in the same company, but healthcare, that is dedicated in also another physical location, more oriented to older people, to make them have some health and to care of them, and also with the food and hotel industry. And then in these 3 cases, when we went through on the field, each people said, well, we have a welcome first, and well, you know, we have a very specific business, very different from our colleagues from the other departments. Okay, well, let's see. And at the end, what was very interesting is, independently of the specific, indeed, context of each of these departments, we succeeded in make them understand, in fact, that they have the same process. At the beginning, they are dealing with people who are in injury, so they are welcome, they are make some specific administrative task. After, they are going to a specific bed inside home or outside. After, they are getting some medicaments, some specific treatment with some specific doctors or specialists. At the end, they can go out, because the good news is that the disease is finished. But if you analyze it, it is the same process. The only difference is that for sometimes we will have to manage a specific bed for people at home, or a specific way to plan how to make people do his rehab time slot, or in the third case, that you have to add food and beverage and hotel industry capacity to help people be cared within a specific location. So the powerful of this method is that it was a good opportunity for us to speed up the process transformation into digitalization, because they have a big constraint to do it rapidly within a couple of months. And after, with great pleasure, we just created some variants from a master process that will be able to deal with, and with great pleasure, all the specificities of each of these departments. So that's why it's very important to have this spirit, to have some good and upper view, to be able to interpret and to analyze it in the good way. So that's for the first dimension, process. The second dimension is data. Data, in fact, is very interesting in the process journey at two levels. The first level is the data in itself. If you remember, in the edges of CRM, customer relationship management, when we introduced for the first time call center, we had the opportunity to collect and gather and analyze data capture from this call center that we didn't know before. It is the same with process. With the process, we can collect the data, we can identify some figures from the automation, from the capacity of a BPM tool that was never known before. So this is the first opportunity to analyze, to understand, and to help to improve the customer journey, to improve the process, to check if a process is well going, to check if there is some bottlenecks or some steps that are in waiting. And now we are near from the process mining. The process mining is that how to collect specific data from the process and to help to improve it. The second dimension of data, in fact, is also in the way to collect data from the need of the business process, which is quite different. During the business process, you have to go from steps to steps, and sometimes you collect data, but also you have to go search some data from application, from marketing application, sales application, human resource application, manufacturing application, anything like that. And so it is interesting to have the capacity through connectors or through specific gateways to be able to go and search the data at the right time when you need it, to pick it, to use it, and then perhaps to update it or to make some additional comment of this data. And it's also the second level of benefit of this process approach. And also in the digitalization, now we are completely in this mind, and the good practice now is to say, please let the data where it is, and then you will have the capacity within a BPM tool that will help you to digitalize your project, to go and search it when you need, to use it, and then also, if it's necessary, to update in the good database, in the good location when you decided to position and to storage your specific data. The illustrative example I will take for this part is from bank and insurance, which is a very interesting sector and market. And in this project, in fact, we have to deal with financial, accounting, management control process, very serious, and with very people who are fond of figures, very important to have the good figures at the right time and to be very accurate. And we began donc to digitalize, to make some processes. And we find, in fact, that the difficult of the project was not the process in itself, but the data. That's a surprise, but that's not a surprise then, because this is one of the three dimensions. So if one of the dimensions is not working well, your digitalization will not working well also. And in this time, after many studies, we make a decision, that is to say, not to go in the database, that was the previous scenario, to pick up data, but in fact, we identified for this specific application, for accounting, financial, treasury, management control people, very financial oriented, we identified that there was one application within the information system that was acknowledged, that was validated, and they said we recognize that the information that is coming from this application is good, and we prefer to use it rather than the information coming from the database. So we just adjust our method, and instead of going to the database, we made some connector to go and pick up the data from this specific application, and then that was the reference and the official data sources to go on the project. And so in good synergy between the process and the data. So that was this part. And the second, the third part that is also very important after the process and the data is the interfaces. Because as a matter of fact, at the end of all this work, you are not alone in your process and data, but you will have to share these steps, to share this data. And that's the way that the interface will have a good importance here. That is to say, how you will push the data, how you will push all the information to people. One example also in the mind spirit of the process approach in your digitalization journey. For instance, when you go to people, you are listening them, and they said, okay, I will have to send the mail. Okay, you write done, but if you write done immediately, you will lose something. That is to say, it is the last word of procedure, that is not a processus. Just to remind you, often people make a mistake between processus and procedure. Processus, in fact, is very fluent. Processus is to go forward, is to go rapidly, is to organize it, to be fluent, and to go from a customer need, from a customer service. Procedure is very interesting also, but is more precise. You have to describe it, to write it, is more strict and straightforward. So when you are in a process approach, the logic is to be fluent, and in this logic, you have to bring to the actor, to the person who will act within the process, the right information is the right time. And if you just write, we have to send an email, you lose something, because you should have to say why send an email, what for, what is the goal, what is the intention, what is the purpose. And in fact, when you understand that it's not just to send an email with Outlook or any other tool, anyway, the goal was just to make an information to the people to say, hey, there is a document available in this place. Hello, there is an action for you to do. You have a task available for you. So the goal is not to send an email. The goal is to make an alert, to make a notification. That is the word for the BPM world, to notify the people that there is an action to do, document, task, or anything. And in fact, in the BPM tool, when you are in a digitalization journey, this is not an email. You will send a notification that will help people to be aware of what to do. So be careful. Keep this mind spirit. You have to challenge when people are saying it is a good way to do it, but you have to check what is the real goal. And so to share with you this illustrative case for interface from the manufacturing industry, in fact, we had to deal with a project based about an ECM to deal with a document, also a BPM to deal with automatization and orchestration of process, and also a DTM, digital transaction management solution to make digital signature. And what was decided, in fact, is to give the power to the BPM tool in order to orchestrate and manage all the communication between the ECM tool and the BPM tool, and also to orchestrate and manage all the communication between the BPM and the DTM tool for the electronic signature. That was very interesting because we had the capability to build connectors to these different type of tools. That was the first level, and also be able to make them work together, picking the strengths of each of these tools. An ECM is made for dealing documents, BPM to orchestrate and automatize, and signature to sign. We should have another scenario to make one of these tools make some other work. But in fact, we decided to affect and to determine what each tool is best to do something. And it is also what we can learn from the experience. If you can, try also to use the good tool for the one use case. So this is for this third dimension of the trilogy. Now we are going to go through the reality, and in fact, in the field, how can we learn from experience? First, what I want to share with you is, in fact, the BPM approach that is historically rather a workflow-oriented approach. Historically, in fact, all this is coming from some business process architecture. I mean enterprise architecture to draw and design processes towards the big picture or landscape, for instance, and then make impact studies for alignment architecture needs. We should call it BPA, business process architecture, or all enterprise architecture. And then there was the need, the church, to make them live and automate with the business process automation perspective, also BPA, but with another word, that is also called BPM, business process management or business process automation, at this point of the discussion. And we will see just after how we can make this evolve a little. So first, we have an overview of the structuring processes of the organization, and this is very important, like we said before. This is the foundation, and you can find a documentary workflow based on documents and something like that, files. Workflow form, that is the way to help people to populate some forms, to populate some elements to go on the steps. And business workflow, that is more and more the way to digitalize, that is to say, you have a business process and how it is convenient to make it more automatized when is it possible. And we will see just after that there are many techniques to automatize, and it's not often very simple because you have to deal with some adaptive, automated. You have to make some decision making. All is not modeling. So this is the first way, structuration. It's very important more and more after the first work to have a tool, but to make it real, to put this in the library of your processes, and this will be convenient to be able to make them evolve. Once you have a library which is modeled within a convenient tool, it is easy to maintain and to make them evolve. The second step is the interactions, because the process in itself is interesting, but you have to match it with people. And then you will have to identify the users, actors, pilots, people who are initiating the process, people who are using as a consumer the process, that as filling some forms, that are validating, approve some steps, and people who are pilots. We introduce within the Process Pilots Club the word of process pilots. That's people who are in charge of a process and in charge of maintain, to have an upper view and to be able to make it work in a good synergy within the enterprise with cross silos and something like that. And then you have to optimize and automate as much as possible, because the goal is to bring additional value to the organization. And the word value is important. When you have a process, the goal is to say, where is the value? and the process has to help you to bring value. This is very important. And then improving performance, productivity, and also quality of service to the customer, but never forget it, in a real process, the final customer is important because this will give to you the value of the process. And if you give value in the process, it will be good because the customer will be happy. Your hierarchy will be happy and will have some budget to go on other processes and to develop your platform and your project within your company. The second way is also case management. Case management seems to be another way to go to process and digitalization, because it's very interesting, and historically, as before, we can try to understand where does it come. In fact, it's coming from some UCM software providers that are dealing with documents and files, that were dealing with all these elements, and then how to manage them in the context of some critical business cases, and how to help to process them in a more and more digital oriented way. And case management is very interesting because in this case, without playing with the words, you have the ability to manage some specific case that can be modeled by advance. First, you have to be accountant about the actors. That is to say, they have to taking care and dealing with some cases with a great autonomy until their closing. So case management is a good opportunity to let people have this capacity to make some decisions that were not previously modeled or automatized, obviously. Second step is that in terms of contingency, you have the capacity to allow status change at any time without a predetermined path. That is the second good benefit of the case management. And the third is also that you have the ability to adapt to the specific context, that is to say, execute rules or activities only if you want, and depending on the case to be dealt with. So at this time, in the first part, we say BPM, which is very automatized, very model, which is very interesting. In some context, you can identify each step to model and to automate. But other way, you have also some cases who are less automatizing or less easy to model. Anyway, the good news is that more and more there is a convergence, and this is the second convergence after the first convergence at the beginning between quality and process. I mean that the second convergence, as for me, is the convergence between the case management approach and the business process approach. Why, in fact? Because in case management, you are data-centric. So data-centric, you are coming from the data and you are going to the process. Process management seems the contrary. You are on the process, but you are also dealing with data. So you understand rapidly that at a certain time, you will have to encounter ourselves, because with two distinct approaches, from one time you have data that is difficult to model, another you have the process that is easy to model. The good news, in fact, is to try to group them together. And that is the reality, because more and more in the last couple of months or years, many software providers began to configure within their model tool, within their platform solution of BPM or CM case management, the capacity for you to also deal with simultaneously case management or business processes. So the good news for you when you begin a project is not to say, do I have to do BPM or CM? It's not the good question. Please model your process, and now the tools we will have to use will offer to you the capacity to do one or two, or the two together, and that is the second convergence that I wanted to share with you today. The proof is that today you have some BPM notation, Very interesting because the OMG, that is the Object Management Group, very well known for instance for UML notation or CMMN we just speak after, has specified the business process management in the BPMN, business process model notation. And this will help to discuss between business people and IT people, and at the first level, so it's a facilitator, a speed up for communication. And at a second level, it is a good way to model, and all current software providers about BPM or CM now suggest in their offer this notation. The last version is 2.0 from December 2013. And we have the same thing for case management. For case management, you have the CMMN notation, case management model notation, same advantages, same benefits to discuss between people, to be able to model in an easy way and a standardized way from project to project or from process to process within a company, easy to share. And the last version 1.1 was published in December 2016. So you understood my my objective, that is to say now we have to deal with all this good news within a convergent repository, that is to say associate data, documents, comments of the process steps according to a business-centric approach. So the business-centric approach will associate data, case management, and business process. The second goal also is to have some adaptative process. At the era of digitalization and within the context we are facing now, it is important to speed up, to be reactive, and so to be adaptive. And this approach from BPMN, CMMN are the way to be able to develop rapidly, to focus, and also to pivot, and to be able to readapt some strategies to a more flexible approach, and with specific processes you are to develop and to push. Third aspect, the dynamic management of the actors. So all these tools offers to you filters, profiles, that is to say in terms of rights and something like that, bring dynamic logic to make all people work together in a collaborative way if necessary, to let people validate when it is necessary, approve, to activate some task, something like that. So all is organized within this specific industrialized tool. And finally, you have to build a generic application, that is to say a user interface. We coming from the one of the three dimensions from the beginning, based on a flexible, scalable portal architecture, because more and more we have heard about cloud or about something like that, and all the platforms and tools are able to make it easy for you to implement in this way. So for the synthesis of this second part, we should say that in fact we have to mix interactions, process agility. Agility, I will make some idea I would like to share with you. At the top right of this slide, if you remember the Agile Manifesto. In fact, the Agile Manifesto was written in 2001 by 17 independent-minded software practitioners. What it is interesting also, if we compare to case management or BPM, these participants didn't often agree, but they did find consensus around their 4 core values. And I just want to stress, to emphasize one of these 4 core values. That is the one, in fact, usually in the list. And they said individuals and interaction over processes and tools. And it is very interesting because often people are not aware that in this sentence, the goal is not to make one more than other, because it's not to make them an opposite. The true sentence is to say that is, while there is value in the items in the right, we value the items on the left more. So that is to say that it is very important to deal with individuals and interactions, but processes and tools are also important. And for people who are knowing SAFe, the SAFe Scale Agile model, in the Scale Agile model, which is a good reference for Scale Agile transformation and Scale Agile model, within you have Scrum, but you have also some process approach that is dealing with process, Scrum, and all the techniques, all the benefits of Line Agile and something like that. That just it was important for me to share this with you because it's also the mind spirit to say yes, it's not the place to make some concept in opposite, but rather try to make them work together with the lean, BPM and case management, quality and process, Scale Agile, transformation, agility, waterfall, something like that. So that is the way. The satisfaction is for the user experience because it is important to give the process until the contact points of the client. The third point about performance is very interesting because more and more we are working with some risk management people, risk and advisory. And I remember in insurance company that begin by M and by F in France. And at the end of the mission, they said, well, they went to see Camas, to come and see us, and they said, very interesting that you modelize our processes. Be sure that we will use them at our level as audit, advisory, and risk management, because we need to have this view from organized process model, and it will be very convenient for us to make our work. So it is also good news that within the company, not also IT or business people are using processes, but also other guys, the men and women from the teams who are more and more interested in processes. And it's a good news for processes, but also for companies to share this view. And automation, the fourth part of this synthesis, that more and more, if you began in the introduction, I speak about RPA, AI, something like that. And this is in my opinion, the third convergence, and that will explain in the next slide. In fact, today, like people were able to make some opposition between case management or BPM, and as for me is not the point. We should say the same for different technologies as stated in this slide. If we remember another in the past, another experience from the CRM, customer relationship management, and the multi-channel approach. If you remember at the first edges of this discipline, you have if I took the example of a bank, the banking industry, I know very well. In the banking industry, you have the branch. So the branch when the customer is going to make banking or insurance services. Then we added some automated tellers to give money with an automated way. And then there was also some electronic ways, such as web or electronic devices to consult and to make some operations by internet or something like that. And after, call center to have a relational way for the customer to discuss with the bank, but also with a technical way as a distance. And in fact, if you analyze today, we are in front of BPM, business process management, business process automation, workflow. We are in front of RPA, robotic process automation, with some benefits, some constraints as the BPM, and AI, artificial intelligence, depending of data, with some advantages and some inconvenience. But try to imagine if you group all this together, if you say, okay, RPA can be used in one step, BPM will orchestrate and will make some analysis and process mining with AI. It's a good way. So please have the capacity to acknowledge and to welcome these technologies, not trying to make them an opposite, but try to make them in synergy. And this is the third good news, that is the third convergence as for me, And then not only to say it, I just took an example from IDC, the outstanding expert company for analyst company. And now you find it in many other ways. There are many hyper automation, intelligent process automation, complete total automation. But if you retrieve the different slogan, in fact, you will find it. So it is very interesting in our way to find this sort of synergy, some sort of convergence, and the goal is really to try to make them work together to take the best of each one and to be able to build a big digital view with the good technology as usual. So now, what are the good practices from experience? I should say in a few words. First, it is important when you begin a project to give some careful attention to the preliminary phases. That is to say, organize some kickoff, ensure that all the people are on board, and to build a solid foundation to accelerate, to speed up, and to develop in a good way. The second tips in favor direct intervention. That is to say, try to go to see people like the Gemba in the Lean, talk to people in the hierarchy, talk to people in the field, try to scope and design, provide some study, project scoping, some workshop, even after the kickoff, and to be able to build a functional design validating by people. I have another case I can share with you that is coming from an insurance company. We were developing some group of processes, about 30 processes, and we were to the field to speak with people, and they said, please go and see this expert for this matter, go and see this. And so when I come back with all these processes, I said, sorry, but there is a difference between the mind from the field and the mind from your book, because they send me the official book written in the desk. And the people said, well, this is very interesting. Obviously, there is a difference between our book of procedure, official, signed by risk management, and the reality of the field. And he said, I decided, the customer said, we will accept to take into account the view from the field, because we consider that it is the reality. So we will update, and please, you will stay longer to help us. And really, we updated the official book of their procedure in this way, that we transform it in process, as a matter of fact. But it is very interesting because the hierarchy had the capacity to recognize, to acknowledge that the view from the field was good, and decided to validate it. It's very, very, very interesting. Another point is to leverage an iterative mode of operation. Alors, every project is not obviously mandatory agile, and I well positioned to say it because I am both a training person from BPM session, and also training person from BP from Agile and from Agile. And please, if your project doesn't have the properties to be agile, don't hesitate to do waterfall. Some projects are not in the scope of agile. Some projects are not in the scope of waterfall. You have just to check the good way to do it. Anyway, even if waterfall, you can make some sharing of intermediate versions. You are not obliged to be officially agile. You can be mind agile with the spirit, mind spirit agile. And please, even in a waterfall project, you can do, and you have to do, some intermediate versions. And then involve also the best available skills our skills in Lean, BPM case management, in BPM, RPA, AI. Now I think you understood my message. And to end this session, I just want to share with you two tools. The first tool is a tool we develop within the process pilots club. It is a maturity model. Very interesting. It's based off 53 questions. Once we fill out all the questions, you have the capacity to interpret the results according to the observatory you are organizing each year. And you can compare at two levels. The first level, you can compare your score for each of the 9 dimensions of the analysis. Process vision, alignment, customer orientation, risk management, re-engineering, something like that. And the second level is, for instance, for bank insurance, there are many people who are answering this questionnaire in telco, bank insurance, for instance. You have also a specific analysis for this sector, and you can see if you are a bank, if you are under or upper the curve of your sector. So this is a first tool, very useful at the beginning to evaluate the maturity, also to share it within your team. You can make this questionnaire share between your teams to see if there is a difference between each team, each department within the enterprise. The second tool is also a tool developed by Process Pilot Club in partnership with Hafner Group that we help to develop it. And in fact, is more to focus on a process, on a key process. And so with this tool, we have the capacity to focus on a key or strategic process and identify something, key areas of improvement. This is the opportunity to benefit from external and expert insights and also to benchmark against other similar processes. And at the end, you will have the capacity to integrate, raise the awareness within your enterprise or organization and enhance the value of the actors of the process. So there is also a questionnaire. You have to answer the questionnaire, and after there is a report with some scoring, that is to say, and that will help you to make some action. I will just finish about the value word. The value word is important in process action because, in fact, if you bring value at the end of the process, will bring value to the customer. The customer will be happy. Your enterprise will be happy and profitable, and it will be the way to a good journey in the digitalization of processes. Thank you very much. What I suggest now is I can answer some questions from the chat. So don't hesitate to share your question. I will read it and I will answer it along with my reading. So I will start the first question. Okay, I have a first question. With process mining, one can discover processes and reuse them later. Why modelize processes in Bonita again then? Well, in fact, it's not the approach. When you are in process mining, in fact, you are already within a tool. So you are already modelizing your processes. Donc you have the ability to make them evolve. Don't just make an update of your processes within the tool. Second question, do you have examples of companies using BPM and IPA? Alors, for now, more and more companies are using them. For instance, in many market sectors like insurance, bank, and also in industry. And that was not the object of the session of today, but we will prepare a complementary session to share with you specific return of expression that will be able to show how is it possible to make work together all these technologies. So the good news is at two levels. The first level is that the technology now is able to organize it and to allow you to use RPA, AI, artificial intelligence, and BPM together. And the second good news, but is more and more in action, is to find some projects that are able to be communicated, that are well advanced to be communicated, and it will be, I assume, next step, and I hope we will meet together very very soon. Another question, is it the end of classic BPM solutions replaced by a new generation of tools mixing BPM case management and business rules management with DMN? Well, in fact, we are in an evolution. Indeed, in the present tools, BPM or case management tools, BPM went into case management area, case management went into BPM area. So there's not an evolution by rupture, it's an evolution by natural evolution. That is to say, your present software providers manage in the couple of previous months or previous days to update their solutions, to make partnerships. For instance, some BPM vendors are making partnership with some RPA vendors. Some BPM vendors are adding CM management in their tools, or some CM vendors are adding. So there's no need for you to change your tool. Just check that your provider is on the good way to make its solution evolving, and that was also a good criteria of selection. That is to check that when you choose a platform, I should say it, an IPA platform, to be simple, a BPM CM platform, that is ability, its capacity to evolve and to welcome RPA, to welcome case management, to welcome all the technology, to welcome digital signature, to welcome ARP, CRM, all the application, all the technologies, all the connection we will have to deal with during your project. DMN, I didn't speak about DMN, but just to be simple within the hour, DMN is very interesting. It is the third notation after BPMN and CMMN. DMN, decision model notation, is the third very interesting notation, more oriented with decision making, and we have to integrate it with great pleasure. Just to simplify and by lack of time, I decided not to include it. Also, it is less often encountered in our project, but it is also an existing notation we have to deal with. Okay, I think it is the end of the question. Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much for the sharing, and I hope please feel free if you are needing to send some messages to Nicolas or me if you need any further information. Thank you very much.